is a presentation of Fox Sports.
We are Baltimore. We are Wisconsin.
Sunday afternoon and opening week concludes here today. The Brewers and the Houston Astros get ready for the final game of this three-game series from Miller Park, and it is vintage bobblehead day. They're coming in by the truckloads. That's a cool look. Let's get you caught up on this series before we get to the finale. On Friday, the Brewers opened up this series. Ryan Braun went deep. The Brewers won it in what is now known as the slide rule victory. They got the win in game one. Jeremy Jeffers picked up his first save of the year. Then last night, the Astros came roaring back. They got 3 homers, 2 of them from Colby Rasmus, his first 2 home runs of the season. And the Astros evened up this series at 1 apiece, and now that sets us up for the rubber game today. And what a pitching matchup we have. Dallas Keuchel, the reigning Cy Young Award winner in the American League, against Jimmy Nelson, who pitched very well his first time out against Johnny Cueto and the Giants. And hi, everybody. So now you're all set up. Brian Anderson along with Bill Schroeder. Sophia Minard is our reporter today. So glad you could be with us. We're looking forward to this matchup. I think we looked at the schedule. The calendar has these 2 pitchers today, and this is the one. If you love pitching, this is the one you got your eye on today.
Yeah, Dallas Keuchel. I mean, he figured it out a couple of years ago. The Brewers have faced this guy 3 times. They beat him 2 times. He's 2-0 against the Brewers, and he's got an earned run average over 11. But a couple of years ago, he figured it out pretty good. In his first 2 seasons in the big leagues, he was 9-18, earned run average over 5. Well, last 2 years, 32-17. He figured it out. He learned how to make balls look like strikes. He forgot about the curveball and started throwing the slider, and dominant. Cy Young Award last year. He started the All-Star game and a 2-time Gold Glover. He does a lot of things to beat you out there on the mound.
And the Brewers will get a look at him at Miller Park in moments. Jimmy Nelson, what does he say about this matchup? Building off that first start against Cueto and the Giants, Nelson pitched well. Sophia has more with Big Jim right after this.
Milwaukee Brewers baseball on Fox Sports Wisconsin is brought to you by Menards. Save big money at Menards on all your home improvement needs. By your local Toyota dealers. Toyota, let's go places. And by Miller Lite, the original light Pilsner. Cheers, it's Miller time. A cold Sunday afternoon in Milwaukee, but Jimmy Nelson getting ready for his second start of the season, looking to end this series and the homestand with a win for the Brewers. The Brewers started the week on opening day with a matchup against lefty Madison Bumgarner, and they will close out this homestand against 20-game winner and reigning American League Cy Young Award winner Dallas Keuchel. So for Jimmy Nelson, despite taking the loss, giving up 2 runs in 7 1/3 innings in his first start against the Giants, it's not about pitching against a reigning Cy Young Award winner. It's more about staying within himself.
I'm not pitching against him. I'm pitching against, I'm pitching against myself. Really, it's. If I execute my pitches, like I have been able to the last month or so, then it's really not me versus anybody. It's me versus myself and the things that I can do.
The Brewers are 2-3. They look to end this homestand with a win and take the series against the Astros. It'll be Jimmy Nelson against Dallas Keuchel. We'll have first pitch with Brian Anderson and Bill Schroeder coming up next on Fox Sports Wisconsin.
At Miller Park once again, afternoon baseball on a Sunday, and Jimmy Nelson ready to match up against the Houston Astros. Brewers baseball on Fox Sports Wisconsin, presented by Potawatomi Hotel and Casino. Spend the night with luxury. Still cold outside, roof is all closed up. It's beautiful inside Miller Park. 42 degrees. It's warming up in Milwaukee, folks. Spring is coming at some point. A.J. Hinch and the Astros, first time they've been to Miller Park since 2012, and the series is all even at a game apiece. Second-year Astros skipper took them to the postseason last year. And his Potawatomi batting order has Jose Altuve leading off, George Springer, then Carlos Correa. In the middle, it's Colby Rasmus, Tyler White, and Preston Tucker gets to start in left today. Marlon Gonzalez, Jason Castro, and Dallas Keuchel rounded out. The starting 9 that will face Jimmy Nelson. Altuve steps in. Home plate umpire Dan Bellino says play ball. And away we go at Miller Park. And on the first pitch, Altuve sends one out of here. Yikes. What a start. Altuve ambushing the first pitch. And his first home run of the season gives the Astros a 1-0 lead.
Yeah, not what you expect out of Jose Altuve. He's a very aggressive hitter. He will attack first pitch, but hit that one a ton out of here to left. And not the start that Jimmy Nelson was looking for. Pitched very well his first start, but got a loss. Check it out, just trying to get ahead in the count. First pitch of the game, and look what Altuve is able to do to it. Middle in, good extension, and the little guy able to knock it out of here. To give the Astros a very quick 1-0 lead. I had no cheapie up there.
Here's George Springer, and he swings at the first pitch, and a liner on a hop. Santana keeps it in front. So 2 pitches into this game, Jimmy Nelson has a run in and a runner on. The aggressive Astros. Have hardly been able to set up Jimmy Nelson before all the activity.
Only 2 pitches, 2 hits, a home run, 1-0 lead, 7 1/3. Jimmy pitched into the 8th inning against the Giants. Very good outing for him. 2 earned runs, 5 hits, but he did suffer his first loss of the season.
And here is Carlos Correa now. The Astros have homered in each of their first 6 games of the season. This Astros team now with 11 home runs on the year, and it was the long ball that did the Brewers in yesterday. They got 2 home runs from Colby Rasmus. Hit his first 2 home runs of the season, and Tyler White hit his 3rd home run in as many days when he went deep yesterday. The batter Carlos Correa has already hit 3. He had 3 long balls in the first 2 games of the season.
Yeah, when it's all said and done, this is going to be a pretty good offensive team. Good mix of young players, a couple of veteran guys in there. And Colby Rasmus has been around a while. Carlos Correa in his 2nd season. Good team.
Correa's the reigning American League Rookie of the Year. Was called up in June, early June of last season. Runner goes, and the throw to second, right on the bag. In time, Maldonado cuts down Springer. Getting his first start today, Martin Maldonado. He is a great thrower of the baseball, and he shows it there.
Been a while since he's played, but showing no rust at all with this throw. Right on the money. Rivera drops the tag, and a relatively easy out at second base. Springer caught trying to steal one. Some kind of throwing arm from Maldonado.
Maldonado and Yadiel Rivera getting the start today, each starting their first game of the season. Maldonado, the very capable backup to Jonathan Lucroy, and brings great defense, pitch calling ability. One and 2 the count on Correa. One of the game's bright young stars. And in there, a call, strike 3. Nelson rings the bell. And Correa is gone on a 95-mile-an-hour fastball for out number 2.
Yeah, right at the knees. That low strike is going to be something to keep an eye on with Dallas Keuchel out there. Relies on pitches down in the zone. And Jimmy Nelson able to burn one right down the middle, it looked like, but able to catch the knees, getting Correa on strikes.
It's going to be interesting to follow the low strike today. That is how Dallas Keuchel has made a name for himself, that low strike. Nelson has great movement with a plus fastball, and he's found that low spot already as he misses inside to Colby Rasmus. Jimmy can be an intimidating presence on the mound at 6'6". Not afraid to work inside, and he's just wild enough to keep the hitters on their toes.
Well, he had Colby Rasmus moving those feet in that batter's box. Rasmus feeling pretty good at the plate. Have him move around a little bit early in the game. Why not?
And a swing and a miss. Good breaking ball there from Nelson. Rasmus with the 2 home runs yesterday. Drove in 4 runs. Did not have an RBI nor a run batted in until yesterday's game. He was the man who had the slide that ended the game on Friday night. He's an interesting guy to watch at the plate as well, because I wouldn't call him a bad ball hitter, but he hits unusual pitches
in unusual directions. I mean, he'll take a slider in and he'll knock it out of the ballpark or find a gap out in the left center. He hit a 3-0 changeup out of the ballpark against Willie Peralta last night. So yeah.
Did he go? They will ask, and he did not. Phil Cuzzy, the third base umpire, says he checked his swing, and that'll leave the count at 2-2.
Man, didn't miss the strike zone by much either.
That was close.
Yeah.
Nelson delivers, and outside for a ball. Tried that curveball again. Nelson getting Johnny Cueto and Dallas Keuchel in back-to-back starts as mound opponents. Tough run. The Brewers have an extremely difficult start to their schedule, with the Giants and the Astros, Cardinals, Pirates, and the Twins, all expected to be contenders this year. Carter backhands it. He'll take it himself, and the side is retired. But the Astros started with a bang. The mighty might, Jose Altuve, with a leadoff homer. 1-0 Stros. A run on an Altuve homer in the top of the first, and Craig Counsell and the crew trying to even up their record at 3-3 before they hit the road for the first time, heading to St. Louis after the game today. Counsell's Potawatomi batting order looks like this. He's got Santana back in the leadoff spot, the switch hitter VR bats second, then Braun. Middle of the order is Carter, Hill, and Maldonado, with Yadiel Rivera, Jimmy Nelson, and Keon Broxton rounding out the starting 9. And Dallas Keuchel on the hill for Houston.
Yep, he's 1-0 in the season. You can see what he did against the Yankees. 2 runs, 7 innings on a cold, blustery day in the Bronx. Keuchel 15-0 last year at home with a 146, which means last year he was only 5-8 on the road.
He has pitched here before. Keuchel back in 2012 when the Astros were still part of the National League Central, but a much different pitcher back then than what he has turned himself into right now. First 2 major league seasons for Keuchel, he was 9-18 with an ERA over 5. Since that time, beginning in the 14th season, he is now 33-17, including 20 wins last year and a .269 earned run average. That does include his victory over the Yankees in his first start of the season on Tuesday.
And his stuff's no different. He's just been able to figure it out. And we talked about it on the open. His ability to make balls look like strikes. He's got very subtle movement late as it gets to home plate. Not big movement. You got to be patient with him, but that's a difficult thing to do the way he throws.
Big, strong left-hander. He's 6'3". He's got a familiar face as a matchup to start this one. Brewers have a couple of former Astros in there. Matter of fact, 3 of them. Santana and VR and Chris Carter. So 3 of the first 4 hitters will be Keuchel's former teammates. And Santana showing great patience.
That's what you got to do against this guy. He wants you to swing at that pitch. And if you swing at it, he's going to keep throwing it. Let's check out the Menards Astros defense. Preston Tucker gets a start out in left field. Has been a different left fielder in each game of the series. Note Carlos Gomez, Rasmussen center. You got Springer in right. Gonzalez gets a start at third. Ray Altuve up the middle. Tyler White, the red hot hitter at first, and Juan Castro, his 3rd consecutive game behind home plate.
Here's Jonathan VR up in the lineup again. He's hit all over the lineup, and he's been hitting well. VR has 5 hits and 5 walks in his first 5 games. Gives him an on-base percentage of .556 through the first 5 games of the season. And he's been out there every day, and I think most impressive has been his defense. VR is fully engaged and making great plays defensively.
He's showing really good patience at the plate. This is the 4 different spots in the batting order Craig Counsell's inserted him in.
And there's a strike. How about that little step from VR? Not real sure what that was, but he moved both feet in the box right before the pitch.
I'm not sure. Maybe he's taken all the way. Not sure. Maybe he's going to slap one into that hole between first and second. I don't know.
I had flashbacks of Hal Morris right there, the former Cincinnati Red. Used to move his feet like that. And he's a little late on the fastball.
A couple of years ago, Dallas Keuchel, stopped throwing the curveball as much and went to the slider, and that thing was a difference maker for him, along with his ability to get hitters to chase out of the strike zone. We're going to see a lot of sliders, some change-ups, and a lot of fastballs. 2-seamers, 4-seamers.
He misses inside, so command early. Brewers would love to try to get some runs on the board early against Keuchel. Typically with elite pitchers, if you can get them, you usually get them early. Full count with Santana at first. And that one is in there for a call at strike 3. VR thought he had walked. It is a punch out, the first strikeout for Keuchel.
Yeah, it looked like a pretty good pitch on the outside corner. Keuchel is going to get the benefit of the doubt if it's close. Yep, that looked like a pretty good pitch.
How about that command there?
A little late movement coming back to catch the edge. It's a cutter. You can see, watch Castro catch it, hold it right on the corner.
And the kinds of pitches that will get you a Cy Young award if you can make consistently, and that's really what has changed his game. Got the little cutter action, the slider. He went back to his high school breaking ball with all of this success the last couple of years. Love this matchup here. Ryan Braun, one of the great hitters in the game against Keuchel.
And some pretty gaudy numbers with the guys that are still on the roster for the Brewers against Keuchel. Keuchel, 3 starts against the Brewers back in 2012. Brawny's got good numbers against him.
Now 2 of those starts were here at Miller Park, and Keuchel gave up 7 earned runs in each of those games, totaling 14 earned runs in 2 Miller Park starts in just 6 1/3 innings. And Braun was a big part of that. 3 hits in 6 at-bats, a couple of walks as well. But this is Keuchel 2.0.
Yeah, different.
Brewers haven't seen this version of him. That outside corner. He drills that spot.
Yeah, I mean, he's not a hard thrower, which, you know, means he's got something going for him. Good late movement, good location down in the strike zone, particularly. More emphasis on down in the zone than on the corners. You can get away with pitches over the heart of the plate when it's around the knees.
At a leadoff walk to Santana. And Braun takes one inside and high. So again, a hitter's count. Goes to 3-1 on Ryan. Braun has homered in this series. His first and only homer of the year came on Friday night. 5 hits, and he's driven in 3 thus far. Astros got a leadoff homer on the first pitch of the game. Jose Altuve went deep. And there's ball 4. So Braun draws a walk. A lot of pitches in this first inning for Dallas Keuchel.
Well, you've seen him miss up in the zone. You've seen him miss down in the zone. And, you know, more balls and strikes so far in 17 total pitches.
Quick trip to the mound for Jason Castro. And you see the discrepancy of balls to strikes.
Yeah, that start against the Yankees went 7 innings. He threw 106 pitches. A lot of pitches for a first start of the year.
On a very cold day in the Bronx. Here's Chris Carter now. So 2 on, 1 out. Carter had a rough day yesterday. 0 for 4. Struck out 4 times. But had back-to-back games with homers prior to today's game. And he's driven in 5 runs in the first week of the season. He's had a nice week. Yeah, 2-0. Keuchel falling behind again. Carter with big power.
Man, looking for a pitch up in the zone right here.
He's able to lay off, and it goes to 3-0. Keuchel's not missing by much, but the Brewers have a very patient approach, trying to get him more into the strike zone, and hopefully they can do some damage. Good speed on the bases with Santana and Braun. Let's see if Carter's got a green light. Takes a strike.
Yeah, Keuchel's thinking right now, what happened to this free swinging Brewers ball club? Taking pitches, we saw that in spring training, something that Darnell Cole's really stressed down in Arizona. Been pleased with the approach of his guys so far.
Another hitter's count, and Carter takes ball 4. Wow. 3rd walk of the inning. And whatever the Brewers were cooking up, it's working right now, as the Astros get an early visit from their pitching coach, Brent Strom.
Hey, remember opening day, the Brewers drew 3 walks against Madison Bumgarner in the first inning. But we're only able to muster 1 run. They need to come up with a big hit here, and Aaron Hill's had good success against Keuchel.
So Aaron Hill. And now if you're Aaron Hill after a visit to the mound, are you ready to jump on a first pitch strike from Keuchel? Now the game really begins.
He's tough to take out of the yard with all the sinkers. He gets a lot of ground balls.
Hill has good numbers against Keuchel, and he swings at the first pitch, a liner, and it's down for a base hit. In to score Santana, and coming in is Braun. Aaron Hill ready to fire, and he delivers a 2 RBI single, and the Brewers, just like that, take the lead.
Well, you knew he was going to come in with a strike, and Aaron Hill continues good success against the Cy Young Award winner. A bullet to right. I tell you, Springer did a good job just keeping that ball in front of him. Had that ball got by him, would have cleared the bases, and Aaron Hill probably would have been at third base, but good approach, not trying to pull it. Check this out. It was a good job to Springer to keep it in his glove. And 2 runs able to score.
He almost got a force play at second base. Carter had to hold up. But he's safe at second. 2 on, 1 out, 2 runs are in, and Maldonado takes a strike. How about Aaron Hill now? 6 hits in 15 at-bats career against Dallas Keuchel, a .400 batting average.
Yeah, just sees the ball well against them.
Carter got caught in a bit of no man's land. Not much you can do here.
Right. And Springer realizes it right away and able to make a throw into second base. Not really close, but a big base hit for Aaron Hill to bounce right back.
First and second with 1 away, and a big swing and a miss from Maldonado. Martin Maldonado. Brewers have some projects all around their lineup and their position player setup, but not behind the plate. It is the envy of many teams to have Lucroy and Maldonado as your catching combination. Maldonado has been a guy as Lucroy's backup that can sit for long periods of time and then be effective at the plate.
Yeah,
he's always going to be effective behind the plate. He is a tremendous defensive catcher.
And he'll run into one from time to time. Had a very good spring at the plate. He was playing every other day. First start here this afternoon.
2 on, 1 away, 2-2 the count, and it's upstairs, ball 3.
Just not willing to throw one down the middle. I mean, he's gonna be able to get the corners if nothing else. He's just having a difficult time right now finding that outside to these right-handed batters.
.28 pitches already for Keuchel. 18 of those have been out of the strike zone. Very unusual. And Maldonado shoots one foul. Look out in the seats. Just to give you some context on Keuchel's command. So all of last year, if you go on averages per 9 innings, he averaged just 2 walks per 9 innings. Struck out 8.5 batters per 9 innings. He's already walked 3 in the first inning of this one. And still only 1 out. And there's another walk. Amazing.
Yeah, it is. It really is amazing the patience this Brewers ball club has shown. And again, Dallas Keuchel, if he's not going to be able to find the corners, he's going to hope that the Brewers chase one off the plate, but they have not. The only out that he got was that borderline strike 3 call to VR.
30 pitches already for Keuchel. Martin Maldonado has faced Keuchel 3 times in his career. He's got 3 walks now.
Yeah.
So here is Yadiel Rivera, 7th batter of the inning. Still just 1 out, and the Brewers trying to hang a big number on the board in the bottom of the first inning. Wow, a little change up there, it looked like. Out front was Rivera. Rivera, his first at-bat of the year last night, and we were wondering if he was going to be a little rusty at the plate. He wasn't. He doubled in his first trip to the plate yesterday. Ended up with 2 hits in 3 at-bats coming off the bench yesterday.
Yeah, had an incredible spring, which is why he made the ball club. You can play him anywhere in the infield, and he'll give you a good at-bat.
A lot of pressure batting where he is today, batting 7th, because the way Counsell's got the lineup, he's got the pitcher batting 8th. So if you're Dallas Keuchel, Rivera is the way out of this inning. You got Jimmy Nelson on deck. Bases loaded, 1 away. No balls, 2 strikes, and down and in. Good block back there by Castro. He's had a nice series behind the plate.
Yes, he has. He's looked good behind home plate, blocking pitches. and has shown a very good throwing arm back there.
Big spot early here in the first. 2 runs are in, and Rivera takes it low.
Well, you know that is a difficult pitch to lay off of. Bases loaded. You're a young kid, your first year in the big leagues. And you take it, change up just a little bit down.
It's a marathon inning. Regardless of what happens the rest of this inning, this one is really going to tax Dallas Keuchel. Early in the season, first inning of a game. Pitch number 35, and it's a swing and miss, a strikeout. Second out of the inning. That was a big one for Keuchel.
Yeah, that's that two-seamer sinker. And once again, out of the strike zone, right? He wants you to chase, and if you don't, you've got a chance to do some damage, what the Brewers have been able to do.
Well, see if Jimmy Nelson can defy the odds here. Taken all the way, takes a strike. And quickly 0-2. You know Keuchel wants to dispose of Nelson quickly. It's going to be at least a 38 pitch inning for Keuchel.
Well, if nothing else, it's going to shorten the start tonight or today for Keuchel.
Bases are loaded. 4 walks and a hit in this inning. Aaron Hill drove in 2 with a single, and Nelson is down on strikes, and the inning is over. So Keuchel strikes out 3, walks 4. But a 2 RBI single by Aaron Hill gives the Brewers the lead early. 2-1 Milwaukee as we head to the second at Miller Park. First 2 RBIs of the season gives the Brewers the lead after the Astros got a home run from Altuve in the first. Check that Brewers defense, Rock, courtesy of Menard. Got some changes out there today.
Yeah, we talk about 2 guys making the first starts. Martin Maldonado, who walked in the first inning. Yadiel Rivera at second base. He got a couple of hits in yesterday's ball game, so no Scooter Gennett today. And one of the hottest hitters for the Brewers, but with the left-hander Keuchel out there, Scooter gets today off.
The slick fielding Yadiel Rivera, and has a very strong arm. Scooter Gennett, who's been swinging the bat exceptionally well, gets a day off. Craig Counsell did say he thought about playing Gennett today. The original plan was to sit him against the left-hander Keuchel, but Scooter actually forced him into reevaluating that decision, but it's so early in the season. Counsel anxious to get Rivera in the lineup.
Yeah, that's the thing. I think it was very important to get Rivera, give him a start, you know, get him into the flow. Although he did have 3 at bats in yesterday's ball game, and you know, another guy, you know, Jonathan Lucroy has been swinging the bat pretty well, so he sits this one out. But Maldonado, this is his first activity.
Tyler White leads off for the Astros. He has been making a lot of noise early in the season. Set an Astros franchise record for most hits in his first 5 games. On the season is 10 for 15. Those are softball numbers up there. He's batting .667. And that's a hard .667 as well. He's got some slugging percentage in there too. 3 home runs and 2 doubles, and he's homered in 3 consecutive games.
Those are beyond softball numbers. Amazing.
Let's see, his OPS right now is over 2,000. Is that pretty good?
Yeah. But you know what they say, when you're off to that hot of a start, it's a game of averages. It's only one way to go from here.
Problem is, we've been saying that for 3 days now on Tyler White. He just keeps hitting.
Keeps hitting, swinging it. Got a good approach up there at the plate.
I think his average is down from 700, which is where it was when we started the series. And there's a called strike. Caught the edge. 3-2 the count. Great story here, Tyler White. Made the ball club out of spring training. He hit well this spring. Evan Gattis on the disabled list for Houston, so that opened up a spot for him, and he's made the most of it. Gattis is coming back soon, though. He's in a minor league rehab setting. Close to returning, and Tyler White making sure that he's got his spot in the lineup. His home run at Yankee Stadium on Thursday, and then he went deep Friday to the opposite field. That was in the 9th inning, and then he got Peralta yesterday. Hit a rocket off the batter's eye in center.
Good quick to the plate, very strong. Right on top of home plate. Got that open stance, but the back foot right on the line. You try and crowd him and you miss, he will take you out of the ballpark. He covers the outside corner pretty well. Not much of a book on him, but you know, the league will start catching up to him at some point. He's going to have to make some adjustments. See that back foot very close to that line on the inside corner.
Full count to White, and he fights it off, stays alive. Played at a small college, Western Carolina University in North Carolina. Drafted in 2013. And a run through the Astros minor league system, and as a matter of fact went to winter ball this year, played in the Dominican Winter League and hit well, got himself on the radar, and he takes a walk. So after a long battle, Tyler White reaches. Leadoff walk here in the 2nd.
They save 50% on tickets during the annual 5-county 5-day celebration. Wednesday, April 20th through Sunday the 24th as the Brewers square off against the Twins and the Phillies. Reserve your spot today at brewers.com/5-county. You know, Twins still looking for their first win.
A tough go. That's a team that is expected to contend this year.
Yeah, first 2 series of the year on the road.
Here's Preston Tucker. Takes a ball high from Jimmy Nelson. Well, we wish the Twins the best. Our buddy Paul Molitor, one of the great Brewers, managing that club, did such a great job last year. Twins are in Kansas City today to face the Royals. Looking for their first win. No score in that game in the 2nd. And the Royals will be the next matchup for the Astros. Astros are going home after the game today. They have a 4-game series and what'll be a American League Division Series rematch with the world champion Royals. There's a good breaking ball for a strike. White and Tucker hit in this configuration against the Yankees. There you see a good look at that.
And knuckle
spike.
curve. He digs that finger into the seams, a spike curve ball. A difference maker for him last year. And now he's trying to get more confidence in the changeup. Give him 4 pitches.
Nelson pitched against the Astros at Minute Maid Park last week in the exhibition series. And those in the lineup for the Astros came away impressed. A lot of talk about Jimmy Nelson, a guy that many of them had not seen. And a swing and a miss. He struck him out. A high fastball. Not sure that's where Maldonado wanted it, but it works nonetheless. And Maldonado with a visit to the mound.
Yeah, I got to make sure. Hey, I want you to get that ball down in the strike zone. But good pitch anyway. He did want it up in the zone. He put it exactly where he wanted it.
You're right.
You see the high target, and Tucker chases it.
So then, what's the meeting about, Rock?
Just went out there, and it's all about telling him how good he's been doing.
Okay, an encouraging meeting.
Reassurance, right?
Positive and encouraging. That was a great pitch, Jimmy.
Validating his performance.
You're the best.
That's part of catching,
Yeah, so the psychological game, huh? That's probably an area where you thrive, I'm guessing.
And I don't think that's an area where Jimmy Nelson needs much help. I mean, I don't think catchers have to go out there and reassure Jimmy Nelson. There are guys, though, that need to be told how good they're doing.
I can imagine a scenario after a strikeout with you behind the plate and Pete Vukovich on the mound, and you run out there.
I tried to go out to talk to Vuk one time. And he shushed me back behind home plate about halfway to the mound, and never went out there again. He set me up good for that story.
I knew that story.
Yeah.
I've heard Pete tell it.
I've told it about 100 times on the air, too.
My favorite line when Rock sees Pete Vukovich, he'll say to Pete, who's a scout now, he'll say, "Hey, Pete, haven't seen you in a while. Hey, Vukie, haven't seen you in a while." And Vukovich will say, "Yeah, that's because I got your schedule." He's been avoiding you on purpose.
He's the greatest.
Nah, you guys are good buddies.
Yeah.
Always fun to listen to you two chat it up. Little tapper foul by Marwin Gonzalez, whom we've seen as a pinch hitter the last couple of games here, getting his first start of the series. Had a hit last night. Astros started the game with a home run from Jose Altuve on the very first pitch Jimmy Nelson threw today. And then they came back. The Brewers got 2 in the bottom of the first. Aaron Hill driving in a pair on a single. Keuchel walked 4 in the inning. Carter's only play is first, and the second out. Runner advances to second base, but 2 gone for the catcher Castro.
Yeah, good movement on that 2-seamer that time, and got Gonzalez out in front. Hey, we're talking to our buddy Steve Sparks today in the booth.
Astros radio man.
Does radio for the Astros. He was giving us a little tidbit on Marwin Gonzalez. He's got 24 career home runs, and all 24 home runs for Gonzalez solo shots. That's hard to do.
That's a good note. I'm guessing a little bit of that is because he hits typically down the bottom of the order, right?
Well, maybe he just likes to, yeah, maybe he just likes, he'd rather hit with a guy in the windup.
Another good evaluation. Maybe he's a full swinger with nobody on base. There's Steve Sparks.
Knuckleballer extraordinaire.
He's one of the few out there that threw the knuckleball in the big leagues. 1 ball, 1 strike. Nelson trying to get through this second inning, put up a 0 here. I don't know if it just is it me or does it feel like both pitchers are in full early game grind mode?
Yeah.
A lot of time between pitches.
Hitters are being patient at the plate, making them work.
There's a fastball in there, 95-mile-an-hour heat. Jason Castro will be a free agent at season's end. Big year for him. Hard to believe he's now thought of as the veteran guy with this very young Houston Astros team. If you look at the position players, the Astros and the Brewers are 2 of the 4 youngest teams in the major leagues. A swing and a miss. He struck him out. He got him on the curveball. Nelson with 3 punch-outs thus far. Good pitch, right where he wanted it. And a scoreless second inning for Jimmy.
Series finale between the Brewers and the Astros, and this morning as Craig Counsell assesses his offense in the opening week, he said he has been very pleased overall, but what he has been most impressed with has been his team's patient approach at the plate. He said they've done a great job with ball strike recognition, they've had quality at bats up and down the lineup, and he said for as many right-handed hitters as we have in our lineup, Scooter Gennett has been a nice anchor, drawing 4 walks for them against right-handed pitchers. And for some context, guys, they now have 23 walks on the season after drawing 4 in the first inning. To compare, they drew just 10 over the first 5 games a year ago.
Yeah, that's a great note, Sophia. And it is interesting, the new philosophical approach. It's one thing to want to walk. I don't think it's so much about the walks as it is getting good pitches to hit, not getting yourself out. And there's no better example of a pitcher who tries to get you out with pitches that are hovering around the edges of the strike zone than Dallas Keuchel.
Right, and you know, no longer can you say this Brewers club is just going to chase out of the strike zone all the time. There's going to be times when they do that, but when you look at those numbers that Sophia was talking about, 10 walks this time of the year last year, I mean, you're talking about a veteran ball club last year. Those guys are supposed to be patient. You got a much younger group out there this year and showing much more patience. That's a good sign.
Keon Broxton will start it.
I guess when you were in a rebuild mode, I guess you would call it, here in the big leagues and in the minor leagues, a retooling, and you get guys that are more on base percentage conscious. So if you have guys that are free swingers.
As Broxton lines one to right, Springer was fighting with the lights a little bit, but Broxton still looking for his first major league hit. Hit it hard, but lines out.
But if you have guys that are free swingers on your ball club, it's very difficult to turn them into on-base percentage guys. It just doesn't happen all that often.
Yeah, the personnel will dictate what kind of team that you have. And Brewers have been a free swinging power hitting team. They still have a lot of power in their lineup, but it is interesting to watch the makeup of the organization change. Brewers general manager David Stearns, who was with the Astros most recently as the assistant GM. Broken bat, little flare in the right, falling fast, but Springer will run it down. Boy, he's been busy today.
Yes, sir. Able to make that catch. They went back on the ball that Broxton hit and made a nice trap on a ball that Aaron Hill was able to get for a base hit. Just a little bit down on the end, and Springer able to make up ground quickly.
Good instincts. Outfielders will tell you they use their ears as much as their eyes. And you could tell by the sound off the bat that that one was going to die. Good play by Springer. 2 quick outs for Keuchel here with VR at the plate.
Yeah, getting back to you know, Craig Counsell's, you know, he's happy with the way the guys have been patient. They've been getting men on base. There hasn't been all that many 3 up 3 down innings. It's just a matter of coming up with that big hit. That's going to come at some point. But you know, you load the bases up, you get those pitch counts up, and you have a better chance of getting at that pitcher.
Well, the only time you really stress about batting a pitcher 8th is the scenario that unfolded in the first inning when the Brewers are up there with the bases loaded, 1 out, and the 7th place hitter Rivera at the plate. If he doesn't get on, it's a pretty good chance the pitcher is going to be able to get through the inning.
How often does that happen?
Yeah, and it rarely happens. That's
right.
why you take that risk, right? So the reason that Counsell likes the pitcher batting 8, 2 reasons really. The most important is to offer a spot, a development spot for a young hitter like Keon Broxton, and then to try to get some extra base runners for the run producers as the lineup turns over. Keuchel back to form here in the 2nd inning, 3 up 3 down with a strikeout. Two to 1 over the Astros interleague baseball this afternoon from Miller Park. And our carsoup.com trivia today: who are the 2 Brewers outfielders to win a Gold Glove award? Good question. It's only been 2, and there was a long time between the 2. One of them is in the ballpark today, I know for a fact. To the 3rd inning we go here. Dallas Keuchel, the Astros pitcher, will lead off. Bats lefty like he throws. And then back to the top of the order. Altuve, then Springer. Astros scored a run in the 1st on an Altuve homer. Brewers got 2 off Keuchel in the bottom of the 1st. Good pitching matchup today. And a little chopper out to 2nd. Rivera will make the play. Out number 1 for Jimmy Nelson. Jose Altuve with that home run in the first. Yet another first inning home run for him. That's his 5th leadoff homer. Matter of fact, his first career home run was a leadoff home run. It was an inside the park home run in 2011 off Madison Bumgarner.
Ambushing that fastball first pitch.
First pitch, first at bat. That's where he thrives.
Didn't even allow Jimmy to settle in. He is aggressive at the plate, though. I mean, he's a leadoff hitter, doesn't hardly ever walk.
Hit 15 home runs last year. That was a career best for him. And he does like to attack early, especially first at bat of the game. As a matter of fact, of his 37 career home runs, 9 of them have come in the first inning. A heavy percentage for a guy who doesn't hit many.
Just can hit. I mean, flat out can hit. Good idea at the plate. Can run. Gets a lot of infield hits. Doesn't strike out much.
What a combination, though, right? Of power and speed, and it is still just a shock to the eyes that a guy this small could hit the ball that far. He hit a long home run in the first inning at 5.5. Led the American League in steals last year. Astros, as a team, led the American League in stolen bases. What a player he is. Turned himself into. 3-time All-Star at this point.
There's a walk, a rare walk for Jose Altuve.
And Nelson walks his 2nd of the game to go along with his 3 Ks. A reminder that this week only, T-Mobile customers can get a free season-long subscription to MLB.TV Premium. Go to T-Mobile.com/MLB to sign up now. Catch every moment on America's fastest-growing LTE network.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good promo reading there, partner.
Well, thanks. I didn't read that.
Oh, just off the top of your head?
Yeah, just giving him information, what I remembered from the fine company, T-Mobile. Altuve takes off, and Maldonado couldn't get the handle.
Yeah, just a little over anxious. You know, catchers love that combination, that matchup with a base stealer. Good throwing arm behind home plate, very fast base stealer at first base. Sometimes you get a little bit too excited, try to get rid of it too quickly. I think if he's able to get it in the hand, he's got a chance to get him, but just couldn't find the handle.
4th stolen base on the year for Altuve. Puts a runner in scoring position for Springer. I'll tell you, George Springer has the garden spot of all spots in a batting order right now with Houston, doesn't he? Behind Altuve.
Guy who runs, he's going to get fastballs, and then you got one of the best young hitters in the game behind him.
That number 2 spot in any major league lineup is a sweet spot, but especially in this Astros lineup, the way it's configured. So there are high expectations for George Springer because of it.
Off to a slow start.
He's got 4 hits. One of those coming in the first inning. 4 hits on the year. And his 4 RBIs all came with 1 swing of the bat at Yankee Stadium. Had a grand slam against the Yankees. Maldonado throws behind Altuve. They got him in a rundown. And Rivera will run him down. How about Maldonado?
Yeah, picked him clean. He had no chance to get back. Well, you'd love that. I mean, that's one of the advantages of the shift. I mean, you have your second baseman basically behind second. It makes that a very easy play. Check out Rivera. He doesn't have far to go. And, you know, Altuve slipped, and they get him easily. Without a throw this time. It took 6 throws to get Gomez.
That's right.
First game of the series, and Rivera plays it perfectly this time to get Altuve.
2-4 on the putout. 2nd out of the inning. 3-1 is the count on Springer. And it goes to 3-2. I love watching Maldonado throw the ball, and he's not afraid of that arm either. He'll throw behind runners. He'll throw to first, third. He's very accurate.
Fielders have to be alive when he's back there. I mean, first base, he will throw behind a left-handed hitter. Try and pick a guy off at first. If you have a good arm, you want to show it off, and Maldonado got one of the best.
Full count to Springer. And he got him. Breaking ball caught the edge. Inside corner. Springer's rung up. Jimmy Nelson with 4 punch-outs. Maldonado's throw set it up. Ryan Braun ready to lead off. We head to the bottom of the 3rd inning. The Brewers lead the Astros this afternoon. Park, and Ryan Braun will lead off for Milwaukee. Braun, Carter, and Aaron Hill against Dallas Keuchel. Braun's first and only home run of the year came Friday late in the game, and he drilled one 400-foot plus home run into deep right center, and his first home run of the year on the Powerball home run count. Brewers hit 3 that day. And Braun jumping on the first pitch, got jammed out to center field. Colby Rasmus almost in his tracks for out number 1.
It's that cut fastball that Keuchel will use early in the count. Looks good as it comes in, but as it gets to home plate, makes a little bit of a turn and jams you. Just subtle movement, not big movement, but subtle movement for Dallas Keuchel with his fastball. Coming into a right-hander, going away. With the cutter, the sinker. Just enough to keep you off the barrel of the bat. Although he did rack up some strikeouts last year, 216 of them in 232 innings. That's regular season.
Yeah, chewing up innings last year. Carter down the line. That's fair. Right over the bag. And it hits the sidewall, and that's going to send Carter to second base. It is a one-out double for Chris Carter.
Well, all of a sudden, Dallas Keuchel throwing some hittable strikes early in the count, and the Brewers aren't wasting them. They're not messing around. Ryan Braun attacking early. There's that cutter again. This time, he leaves it out over the plate enough for Carter to be able to pull the hands in, and just barely able to keep it inside that third base bag, right over the bag. Phil Cuzzy calling it fair, and a one-out double.
So Carter today has a walk and a double. And a man in scoring position for Aaron Hill, who drove in the 2 runs for the Brewers in the first inning. And after Keuchel had walked 3 in front of Hill and a visit by the pitching coach, Hill was up there ready to swing. And he took a first pitch offering and laced it into right field to drive in a pair.
And because of that, Keuchel starts him out with a curveball.
Keuchel has a very high pitch count, working here in the 3rd inning. So it's going to be a short start for him. The Brewers would love to make it shorter than he hopes, but that 1st inning did him in as far as trying to finish a game. This is a guy that averages over 7 innings per start last season.
That's incredible, isn't it? This day and age.
Yeah, that is a rare bird. Starting pitchers across the major leagues under 6 innings per start, well under 6.
Yeah, guys these days feel good about themselves getting through 6 innings. Kind of Mark Burley-esque, those types of innings.
Keuchel has been an innings eater, as Rock mentioned, though. He led the major leagues, or rather led the American League last year in innings pitched. He's had back-to-back years of over 200 innings.
It makes it a lot easier for your manager, A.J. Hinch, to get through your rotation. We knew you have a guy out there that's going to give you 7. Had 3 complete games last year, 5 the year before.
He led the American League in complete games 2 years ago.
Always good for your bullpen.
Of his 3 complete games last year, 2 of them were shutouts. There's a wave and a miss. Keuchel strikes out Aaron Hill. He is racking up the Ks today, has 5 of them already. And the 2nd out of the inning.
Didn't see a fastball. Aaron Hill is a curveball that's down, and once again, remember what we were talking about, making balls look like strikes. That's what he does.
Wonder if that's an ad lib today for Keuchel, because the story with him is that he's ditched the curveball over the last couple of years, gone more towards the slider.
Well, the sliders we've seen have not really been close to the strike zone. There's another curveball.
Yeah, well, he's found something today with that pitch.
It's nice to have 4 pitches. I mean, maybe 5 when you talk about the cutter to go to. One doesn't work, you've got a couple others to go to. That's how you win a Cy Young award.
2 outs for Maldonado. Runner at 2nd is Carter. It is interesting if you look at the numbers, and one of the web services that offers the pitches and the tracks of pitches and how often they are thrown is Fangraphs, their Pitch FX page. And if you go by that, and it's pretty reliable, Dallas Keuchel last year threw 1 curveball.
He's thrown more than that today.
He sure has. And the year before that threw 1 curveball the whole season.
I find that hard to believe. But the internet never lies.
No, it's true. There is still a human being entering that data, but the bottom line is he stopped throwing the curveball, getting back to his slider.
I think that's what you can take out of that. You know, not so much that he's thrown only 1 curveball, but doesn't throw too many. That slider has been working for him for a couple of years. Didn't really have that slider his first 2 seasons.
The 2 pitches that he throws the least, let's put it this way, the curveball and the changeup, is something he's gone to a lot here after that rough 1st inning. Good pitchers go into the tool shed when they have to, and that's what he's doing.
But the Brewers making him work, and work hard today.
Maldonado has a career full of walks, matching up against Dallas Keuchel. 3 plate appearances, 3 walks, including a walk in the 1st. He'd love to drive in a run here to add to the Brewers' lead. Full count, 2 outs. Carter with a double, still at 2nd. And a slow roller. Keuchel, the Gold Glover, winds it up, fires a strike to get Maldonado to end the inning. 3 in the books at Miller Park. We go to the 4th. Brewers lead the Astros 2-1.
And they have a 2-1 lead over the Astros and enjoy a one-of-a-kind game day experience from one of Miller Park's 5 spectacular all-inclusive areas featuring incredible sightlines, exclusive amenities, and all-you-can-eat buffet. Single-game AIA tickets are now available for select games at brewers.com/all-in. I think I forgot a line. And all-you-can-eat buffet. Yeah, no, I did. Yeah, single-game AIA tickets are available for select games at brewers.com/all-in. No, I thought I forgot a line, but I didn't.
And then you did it twice anyway.
Yeah, well.
Come on, man. Get it together, man.
You can't leave out a word in those things.
There's people tracking that. Here's Carlos Correa to start it for Houston in the 4th. I know why you're intimidated.
I am. We got the best promo reader behind us back there.
Matt LePay is in the booth today.
Yeah.
He's kind of shadowing today.
Nobody better.
Matt's going to be joining the broadcast in Pittsburgh, so he's hanging out with us.
I noticed you stepped up your game.
Well, you know, I mean, there's a little heat when he shows up. You got to deliver those promos. There's Matt, right behind Mike Faulkner, and my forehead. Great to see Matt.
Yeah.
He's a legend.
Had a nice little run with the Badger basketball team again.
I got to hang out a lot with Matt this year with the Badgers. That was fun.
That's right. You did those games, didn't you?
We were. We started in St. Louis, and not only was Matt there with the Badgers, I was there, of course, with Turner and CBS, but then Wayne Larrabee was there with Westwood One. So we were all fully cheesed up in St. Louis for the first weekend of the NCAA tournament.
A lot of Wisconsin sports represented there, wasn't they?
That was fun. It was great chatting with those guys and being with them, and to be at such a great event like that. Great run for the Badgers this year. We're proud of them. Greg Gard and his group, and what an amazing story it was that they were able to get to the Sweet 16 and had a chance, and a good chance. Should have gotten to the Elite Eight game. That one stings a little for Badger fans still.
Yeah, gave it away, right? They always find a way to win games, the Badgers.
So Matt's going to be joining the broadcast next weekend in Pittsburgh, and he'll be here for a month. Always great to hear Matt call a Brewers game.
By the way, good call on that buzzer beater the Badgers had.
Thank you. That was Bronson Koenig's moment. Luckily, we were all there to witness it.
You don't get many opportunities like that.
That was my first buzzer beater in an NCAA tournament game. Had a lot of last possession baskets, but nothing that ended as the horn sound or the buzzer sound. Correa draws a walk. And so Jimmy Nelson has walks in each of his last 3 innings. Lead runner on here in the 4th.
And tried to throw a 3-2 curveball to Carlos Correa, missed badly.
That's the pitch he threw to Springer and punched him out to end the inning in the 3rd. And that'll bring up Colby Rasmus now. Rasmus grounded to first his first time up. Rasmus has bounced around quite a bit. Started with the Cardinals. He was one of their top prospects coming up. They were very high on him, but got crossways with Tony La Russa, as the story goes, and ended up being traded to the Blue Jays that year. It was actually a very significant trade for the Cardinals in that season, and it hurt the Brewers badly that season. If you remember how that all went down with Colby Rasmus.
Got all those relief pitchers.
Mark Zepchinski and Octavio Dotel. And those guys were huge in the postseason the year the Cardinals knocked the Brewers out in the NLCS in 2011. Had Colby Rasmus just gotten along better with Tony La Russa, the story might have been different.
You know who's going to win that battle every time.
That's right. Well, by the way, we're going to see La Russa tomorrow. Opening day for the Cardinals is always a grand parade, and they bring back many of their Hall of Fame members, including La Russa tomorrow. Right off the end of the bat, see if it'll stay playable. Carter will give it a look right on the rail, and he falls down, and the ball bounces free.
Not sure what happened there. He was playable. He should have been able to make the play, but for some reason he went down. Still got a glove on it. He just loses his footing, and still had an opportunity to make the catch. Right there off the heel of the glove, and then missed it with a bare hand.
Can blame the sunflower seeds. So no play, no air charged. And now Correa steps on, throw to first. They got him. Carter will run him down. How about that? Another caught stealing that comes from the mound.
Well, they said that Carter missed him, but Correa out of the baseline. How about that? 2 pickoffs, Altuve and Correa.
Maldonado got Altuve, and now Nelson does the right thing. He just fires to first, and an easy out. Both officially scored as a caught stealing, and A.J. Hinch can't be pleased with that result. I wonder if the Brewers had a conversation about rundowns after the 6th throw relay with Carlos Gomez, because the last 2 they've executed perfectly.
I don't think so. Just one of those things, right? I think it's a lot easier to get these other guys. Carlos Gomez gives you a problem.
That's true.
Altuve, they got him easily. They get Correa just as easily this time.
2-2 on the way, and it's rolled over. Shift is on. Rivera for out number 2, and Rasmus retired.
What a different look to the inning, right? Back-to-back innings. Altuve gets picked off, and now you get Correa, and what a difference it is.
It affects how you play defensively without a runner at first.
And Jimmy Nelson's much more relaxed out there, and
outs on the bases are a killer for any team. Ask the Brewers from yesterday. Looked like they had a big inning going in yesterday's game against Pfister, and Domingo Santana didn't see a stop sign, ended up getting thrown out at second base. There's a good curveball from Nelson, the yacker, the Uncle Charles.
yeah, more curveballs and sliders for Jimmy Nelson and Dallas Keuchel today.
And Dennis Cook had the best phrase I've ever heard for a curveball like Jimmy Nelson's. That spike curveball that it's so hard and has such a late break. He'd say, that curveball's got more bite than a buck-toothed termite. Those are nasty bites. And he went with the fastball this time. He got him a strikeout. Nelson with 5 punch-outs. Faces 3 batters in the 4th. A pickoff to Correa, and he gets the next 2 hitters. Brewers still leading. Milwaukee Brewers baseball on Fox Sports Wisconsin is brought to you by Hupy and Abraham. 1-800-800-5678. Hupy and Abraham. Tell them you mean business. Aaron Hill has driven in the 2 runs for the Brewers in this game. That came in the first inning of Dallas Keuchel, who has settled down now, and Keuchel putting up back-to-back zeros after that long first inning. Keuchel walked 4 in the first inning, struck out 3, and gave up that 2 RBI single by Hill. Rivera bounces one over the head of Gonzalez, a base hit, and on his way to second he goes. Yadiel Rivera with a double. He just keeps on hitting. Good for him.
Yep, beats one into the ground over the head of Gonzalez and down the line, and it's just a matter of making contact for Yadiel Rivera, who's already got 3 hits on the season. A breaking ball. It looked like a slider that stayed up, and Rivera able to lead the 4th off with a 2-bagger. Just out of the reach of Gonzalez. That gives Jimmy Nelson a chance to drop down a bunt.
Boy, impressive. Rivera sits all week. Finally got into a game yesterday. Had 2 hits yesterday. His first start of the season today. And it's a leadoff double. The Brewers keep the pressure on Keuchel. Puts him back in the stretch. Nelson squares early. The Butcher Boy play hits it right to Gonzalez.
Nobody at first.
Nobody at first, and Nelson will reach.
There
How about that?
A little miscommunication right there. Nobody at first. First and third are charging. Well, Jimmy pulls the bat back. Thought it was going to be an easy put out, but nobody at first base. How about that?
The sick feeling for Marwin Gonzalez. He gets the ball, and then Altuve just stopped.
Decided not to try and lead White toward the bag. I guess he could have done that, but decided not to.
Would have been a risky throw,
right?
Huh?
Yeah. Pull the old Aaron Rodgers and lead him toward first base.
This is interesting here. A.J. Hinch, the manager, is out, and this doesn't feel like a pitcher's meeting. This is a one-way conversation about how the Astros are executing defensively right now.
And making some mistakes on the bases. That was certainly a mistake that should have been made. You can't blame Altuve for that because, you know, Jimmy squared around the bunt. He's got to cover second base.
Somebody missed an assignment, whether it was Altuve or White at first or whoever. I'm assuming when the bunt goes to third base, the first baseman's got to retreat, doesn't he? Just judging by Altuve's reaction.
Well, unless Altuve was out of position himself. There was nobody at first, so I guess Altuve's got to get over there, but he wasn't even close.
So here is Keon Broxton now, 2 on to start the inning. This would be a good spot for Keon Broxton's first career major league hit.
And these are spots we've seen early in the season that Craig Counsell elects not to drop down bunts. We saw it earlier in that series against the Giants. Keon Broxton certainly, I guess, a lot of managers with the 9th spot up would drop down a bunt to advance the base runners.
Broxton got a little time with the Pirates last year. A lot of his appearances in big league games with the Pirates were as a pinch runner. So it is interesting that he has scored 5 runs and he has 2 stolen bases. One of them is a Brewer this season. And yet he does not have a hit in the major leagues. Oh, 0-2 the count. Broxton takes a called strike 3.
Knee buckler right there. Curveball.
Keuchel needed a strikeout and he gets one. And the first out of the inning.
Now the Brewers elect not to bunt, and that one just at the bottom of the strike zone. You can see where Fox Tracks has it. At the knees when it crossed home plate and on the inside corner. Too close to take.
You see those knees buckle. Top of the order now. Big spot for the Brewers. They're up a run. Keuchel with 67 pitches thus far. Get a little something going here. You could probably get that Astros bullpen active, but it's going to take some base runners.
Yeah, your ace and Cy Young Warner always gets a little bit longer leash out there and let him go a little bit further, and then you would allow other pitchers to go, get himself out in trouble and get himself out.
The Brewers stranded the bases loaded in the first inning. Did score twice. Left a 1-out double on last inning. Santana's been terrific early in situations like this with runners in scoring position. He's 3 for 7. He takes one on the edge. A strike, 2-1. It is impressive how Keuchel can just drill that outside corner with consistency against right-handed batters.
Yeah, on a 2-0 pitch too.
Those are perfect pitches in hitters' counts.
I don't think he's thrown one at 90 miles an hour today. Well, they say he tops out from time to time at 91, but I've seen a lot of 87s, a lot of 88s, and a lot of pitches in the 70s.
3-1 to Santana, 2 on. Brewers lead by a run, looking for more. Santana rips one right center, to the wall it goes. In to score Rivera. Big Jim Nelson will stop at third. And it'll be an RBI double for Domingo Santana. 3-1 Brew Crew.
Beautiful approach for Santana, who continues to excel with runners in scoring position, showing good patience, getting the count in his favor, and hitting the bullet all the way to the wall. Anybody but Jimmy Nelson on the bases, it would have been 2 runs. And Keuchel with a fastball out over the plate, and Santana just smokes it out there into the gap. Beautiful piece of hitting. And the Brewers take a 2-run lead and threatening for more. Hold him up, Eddie.
He's going as fast as he can. But still only 1 out. So that puts Nelson at third with 1 away. Think about that if VR hits one in the air. Infield creeping in for Houston. Domingo Santana is 4 for 8 with runners in scoring position, by far and away the best on the ball club to start the year.
Yeah, the rest of the team having a difficult time in those spots. 4 for 35. Everybody but Santana.
The switch hitter VR. And a little broken bat grounded to first. Nothing comes out of this for the second out.
Yeah, VR just can't figure out Keuchel. Of course, he's not alone in that. There are a lot of hitters in the big leagues that can't figure this guy out. Well, let's see if they elect to walk Ryan Braun.
A.J. Hinch trying to get the attention of his pitcher and catcher.
Walk Braun, get the Carter, who had double his last time up.
But you know, you just said it earlier, any ace worth his salt, he doesn't want to walk anybody. Any Cy Young Award winner feels like he's better than anybody he will face.
Well, and the other reason why you might go after him, because he's very good at throwing pitches out of the strike zone that hitters may very well swing at.
A.J. Hinch just put up 4 fingers, and Castro alerts his pitcher. They're going to intentionally walk Ryan Braun. That was funny, though. Neither Keuchel or Castro looked over there to A.J. Hinch.
Didn't want to. So we want to get him.
And the manager was persistent. And remember, he's already made a mound visit.
No, this is certainly the play right here. You got your best hitter up. Take the bat out of his hands, and you go after Carter, who has a more of a swing and miss type swing.
So this will load the bases. Hinch going to take his chances with Chris Carter now, whom he knows very well. He managed him last year. Chris Carter at the plate, presented by Blaze Pizza. Had a double last time up, last inning. Walked his first time up. If you're wondering, Carter with 2 career grand slams. Both of those came in 2014. Big spot in the ball game for the Brewers here. And Keuchel starts him with a strike. Found the back door. Second time the Brewers have loaded the bases against Keuchel. They filled him in the first. Brewers have 5 hits in this game. And Keuchel has walked 5. One of those intentional. Carter hits it hard, but right at Gonzalez. And the side is retired. Tough break. Hit it sharply right to the third baseman. Keuchel pitches out of another jam. Brewers do get a run though.
As we head to the 5th, and every home game, Brewers Community Foundation will host a 50-50 raffle here at Miller Park. One lucky fan will win big, plus charitable organizations that focus on health, education, recreation, and basic needs will receive needed support for their quality programs. Tickets are just $2, so you can get those from the sellers in the bright orange t-shirts and join in on the fundraising. Talking to Jimmy Nelson earlier this week, he said just like hitters have an approach, one thing that he worked on at spring training was his own approach. So he said physically he's been working on just keeping his direction to the plate, staying over the width of the plate. He said letting his movement just do the work for him and not being too fine with his delivery. He said it's something he was able to repeat over his last few starts in spring training and carried over to his Tuesday start against the Giants. He told me that he feels like it's taking less of a toll on his body, a little bit less effort. And he said the big thing is that he just wants to be more efficient in games. He was able to go 7 1/3 against the Giants, just 88 pitches. And
it was a great matchup against Johnny Cueto. Cueto was just a little better, but certainly he pitched good enough in that game to win the game. And you like the fact that he's matching up against some of these aces, and he knows he's emerging, and he's got the work ethic to emerge as an ace himself. He has all the stuff, the makeup. He could be a bit of a late bloomer as well, as far as that goes.
And a lot of confidence right now. You know, confidence and being able to relax out there on the mound, slow things down. I know it's an old cliche, slowing things down, but when you know you belong and you've had success And that in itself takes a lot less of an effort to go out there and pitch. When you're grinding out there and things are going very quickly, it's an emotional. It takes a lot out of you.
That ball's hit hard into left center, and it is going to be out of here like a flash. Preston Tucker has homered, his second of the season, and an opposite field rocket that brings the Astros back within a run.
It didn't take long to get out of here. Preston Tucker on a two-seam fastball that stayed up out over the plate. And Maldonado wanted it down and away. Got too much of the plate with it, and Tucker hit a bullet out of here into the Brewers' pen.
So that run the Brewers got in the fourth keeps him in the lead as Tucker goes deep. And here is Marwin Gonzalez.
Astros with 6 homers in this series.
Yeah, they've homered in every game this year, and they've had multi-home run games. Houston with 2 homers today, Altuve and Preston Tucker, and they've now hit 12 home runs for the season. Well, the Brewers have been close to a knockout punch on a couple of occasions with Keiko, but they couldn't cross over that line twice with the bases loaded.
Getting men on base, and Craig Counsell was talking about it today. And just can't come up with that big hit, just like last inning.
One ball, 2 strikes on Marwin Gonzalez. Mostly used as a pinch hitter. He's a bench player. Good pinch hitter. They like him off the bench to give him good at-bats. And today gets to start at third base. Astros have been using Luis Valbuena at third. Gonzalez has an interesting setup at the plate. Holds that bat like an umbrella. Hands are low and holds it straight up and down.
Just trying to be relaxed, just kind of balancing that bat in his hands and kind of loosening everything up. Chokes up a little bit. Every hitter has a little idiosyncrasy that it kind of helps him or reminds him to do certain things up there at the plate. You know, stay close, maybe keep the hands down. They avoid too much movement with the upper half, and but all good hitters end up in the same spot when they're getting ready to swing the bat in that good power position.
2-strike pitch. Fouls another one off. Hitters who hold the bat like that, you talk to them, they don't want to feel any weight on that bat. They hold it straight up and down, really relaxed hands. And then some guys are just the opposite. I remember Mickey Tettleton used to talk about, remember how he would lay the bat down?
Yeah.
He wanted to feel the bat. All the weight of it.
Be the bat.
Be the ball, Danny. Another foul ball.
Mickey could hit, switch hitter. Good years with Oakland, Texas.
He would lay the bat down back towards the screen.
Yeah.
And then remember, Julio Franco used to
wrap it.
He'd wrap it the other way. Point the bat head to the pitcher.
Yeah, he'd have it laid down until he was getting ready to swing, then he'd bring it up. I mean, that's what I'm talking about. Every hitter has something different that they do, but they all end up in the same spot when they're getting ready to swing.
Well, a long battle here with Gonzalez, fighting everything off. Nine pitch at bat at least. against Marwin Gonzalez here for Jimmy Nelson. Lead man up, or the no outs, I should say, after the homer. Finally got him. Strikeout with a fastball. Got him to chase.
Made him work for it. 10 pitches.
6th strikeout for Nelson.
10 pitches, and it was a 1-2 count. How about that? A lot of pitches in the zone. And got him on pitch number 10.
Look at the cluster of pitches.
All over the place.
But none of them in the middle of the strike zone.
Right.
That'll make Derek Johnson happy, pitching coach. So Jason Castro now with 1 out. Nelson struck him out in the 2nd inning. He was the 3rd of the 6 Ks. Both pitchers with 6 strikeouts. Astros are headed home after this game today. They have their home opener tomorrow against Kansas City. Brewers are headed to St. Louis. Cardinals home opener tomorrow.
You check out the weather in St. Louis tomorrow?
I'm seeing a shower or two. Is that still the still the forecast?
Yeah. Maybe it'll clear up. It'll surprise us, right?
Well, there is an off day Tuesday built in for that very purpose. Three-one pitch. 3-2. Got a fastball by him.
Yep. 95 miles an hour going away from Castro. Looks like he's trying to pull off a little bit. Getting that bat going a little bit too soon. Putting pressure on himself. He's only got the 1 hit this year. So I guess the idea then is to stay away from him. Don't give him anything inside.
Goes back to it. Castro was late. Brewers in that series against St. Louis will have Taylor Youngman started off. Michael Wacha scheduled to pitch for the Cardinals. Youngman and Chase Anderson and Willie Peralta. Brewers are operating in a 4-man starting rotation now, utilizing off days, but that's going to have to come to an end on this road trip. There's a swing and a miss, defensive hack. He just stuck with the fastball. That one was the 2-seamer. And Castro is out number 2. 7 strikeouts now for Nelson. Hey, Brewers fans, if you can't watch the games on television, you can now stream games live on your mobile device. Just go to your app store and download the free Fox Sports Go app. Log in and stream the Brewers wherever you go.
See, I think now you're trying a little bit too hard.
Really? I thought that was pretty good.
That's your Ronnie Radio voice. It's not like you.
I thought Matt LePay, he approves. He's nodding and smiling like, you're getting there, son.
Yep, I'm better than that.
You're getting there.
But I like the effort.
Trying, man.
The intensity. Hey, you know what? You're the best. You don't have to be the best at everything.
The Matt LePay School of Promos.
Don't take it personally.
Says the guy who skipped an entire line of the last
That's
promo.
what I'm saying. You don't have to try too
Are you
hard.
talking to me or yourself?
Yeah, both of us. But I didn't skip a line. It just seemed like it.
Ground ball to third. Hill's got it, and Keuchel is retired. So a leadoff home run by Preston Tucker, and Nelson retires the next 3. 3-2 Milwaukee. Park on a Sunday afternoon, and a good crowd today. Bobblehead day, the vintage bobblehead given out before the game. 3-2, Brewers lead it, and Aaron Hill is in the spotlight today. He has not had a run batted in until that first inning, but Keuchel got wild in the first. He walked 4 in the inning, had walked Braun, and then Carter just ahead of Aaron Hill. There was a meeting at the mound, and Hill jumping on the first pitch, lined one to right, and it was a 2 RBI single that gave the Brewers the lead quickly.
Well, 4 walks in the for Keuchel. The only other walk was the intentional walk to Ryan Braun. Brewers have had a number of scoring opportunities, but that's what makes Dallas Keuchel one of the best in the business, making the pitches when he needs them. Brewers have left 7 stranded already in this ball game, 3 for 10 with runners in scoring position.
Aaron Hill, Martin Maldonado, and Yadiel Rivera. Keuchel had a 38-pitch first inning. And if you're the Brewers offense right here, this is the inning you desperately want to try to deliver a knockout punch to the Astros ace. Bullpen's been quiet. I think with one more base runner last inning, you might have seen some activity. But Keuchel got out of a bases loaded mess. Backhanded Gonzalez, and the long throw is a good one, and Hill is retired. Keuchel, when he's right, gets a ton of ground ball outs. Over 60% ground ball rate last year, best in the American League by far.
And then because of that, he gets a lot of double plays. The Astros have not been able to turn a double play today. 20-8 last year, but you know the one problem that he did have was, you know, winning on the road. He was only 5-8 away from Minute Maid Park. 15-0 at home. How about that?
That's incredible. It's an incredible number. 15-0. He is the perfect pitcher for a hitter's park like Minute Maid or Miller Park. Gets all those ground balls.
Man, if you keep hitters to you know, gap to gap in center field at Minute Maid Ballpark, you're going to be in pretty good shape. That is deep out there in center field. You know, that's what Don Sutton used to say about the Astrodome. Just pitch them away and let them hit it as far as they want to center field. It's not going anywhere.
Astrodome still stands. They're deciding what to do with that great venue, the 8th wonder of the world. Maldonado hits it sharply, but the shift is on, and Correa, and wow, White just missed it, and Maldonado is safe. It's a heck of a play by Correa, but White just clanked it.
Yeah, not a tall guy, but to throw a little bit off the mark. It wasn't a perfect throw, but certainly a throw that has to be handled. White got the end of his glove on it, but that was it. That's got to be an error on somebody. Check out the throw. A little bit up toward the outfield side of the bag, but you know, one that a first baseman's got to be able to make. It's got to be an E3. I mean, he just clanks this one right off the thumb of the glove.
Well, right now they scored as an E6, but I'm with you.
Yeah, that's got to be. You got to catch that ball.
So the Brewers get a base runner here, a gift. Here is Yadiel Rivera.
You know, every throw to first base doesn't have to be perfect, but that's certainly one that he's got to be able to make. He's got to catch that baseball, if nothing else.
And now it is officially changed to an E3. Three-2 Brewers play in the 5th. Rivera with a double. He bounced one over the head of the third baseman Gonzalez last inning for a double. Two and one. Don't see Keuchel work inside much. He's got that sinking fastball. It moves away just slightly from a right-handed hitter, and then the one that counters that little cutter that comes back into a right-handed hitter.
Yeah, a lot of times that's in off the plate. Doesn't like throwing that for a strike. Or he'll backdoor it. 88 is about his best bolt today. I don't remember seeing too many pitches faster than that.
Maldonado at first. And that one's high, ball 4. So Rivera with some terrific at-bats. Draws the walk. 2 on with 1 away. Walk number 6 for Keuchel today. Well, Brewers trying to force a decision here for A.J. Hinch. Got the pitcher Jimmy Nelson up there to bunt, most likely. He showed bunt last time and then squared around, pulled it back, and grounded one to third. The old Butcher Boy play. He hit it right to the third baseman. The problem was nobody was covering first, and Nelson ended up getting a hit out of it. Two on, 1 away. Nelson squares early, takes a ball. Keuchel's 6 walks matches a career high for him. And it's interesting that his other 6 walk game was way back in 2012, right here at Miller Park. 2012 in July of that year.
Yeah,
when he walked 6.
He's had a difficult time in this ballpark.
And a bunt fielded by Castro, out at third, across the diamond, out at first. Worst case scenario there. Brewers might want to look at this at first base. Otherwise, it's going to win the inning unless we're calling out. It looks like the second base umpire, Tom Hallion, is calling out on the slide rule. He is. Tom Hallion just called an out on the slide rule. The slide rule being at third base here, not second base. Well, this is going to be interesting. Maldonado
deviating from his path to the base to try to disrupt the fielder from making a play. You can see that slide. Let's see. Does he?
That's it.
He doesn't maintain control of third base. So there's your slide rule at third. That's first.
So no need for review. Call is made. It's a double play to end the inning. Ends on an interference call. Of the slide rule, the crew chief Tom Hallion on the right makes the call from his second base position, And let's watch Maldonado go into third base here, Rob.
Yeah, look at Phil Cuzzy, though. He's keeping an eye on what's going on. Now, a couple of things here. You got Maldonado right there. He puts his arm out and tries to disrupt the throw by grabbing his foot, and then he doesn't maintain control of third base. So two things probably could have been called there. Deviating from his path to third base. You know, not a bona fide slide. A late slide. He hooks the ankle, and then he doesn't maintain control of third base. So that's a no-brainer for Phil Cuzzy. He was right on it.
Well, the slide rule applied. We think about it as applying only to second base, but we brought this up yesterday. Slides at third base on plays like that, or at home if you have the bases loaded and there's a force. So,
but you don't have to maintain control of home plate.
Right, you could slide through home plate. That's a good point.
Yeah.
Say players are gonna they're gonna have to learn to slide into the base. I know it's their habit, but
it's going to be a learning curve. It's going to take a while. I mean, old habits are hard to break, right? Guys are taught throughout their baseball lives. You know, young kids breaking up double plays, go in and try and disrupt that double play. You can't do it anymore.
Jose Altuve leads off for Houston. And a big swing and a miss. Probably need to get into a discussion, and you've lived it. You've been down in the dugout, so there, you know, what we see as fans on the field, whether he tries to take a guy out or not. But then there's the, I don't know let's call it the sociological aspect of it. Well, when guys, you don't do it,
right? The guys get on you in the dugout about it. You say, "What are you doing?" I mean, let's play some hard baseball here and take them out at second base. It used to be the same thing when you were catching. I mean, when you weren't blocking the plate, I mean, guys got on you about that too. So you're not allowed to block home plate anymore. You're not allowed to, you know, disrupt or take a guy out in a double play. And, you know, from every one of the situations that we've seen 3 of them now, 2 here at Miller Park and 1 in Tampa. I mean, kind of, you know, not a big deal. I mean, nobody really trying to take anybody out or hurt anybody, but, you know, it's going to be called regardless.
Just slide into the base.
And you're not allowed to, you know, really try and break up a double play now. I'm not sure how you do it, you know, legally. I don't think anybody does at this point.
Well, and that's, you know, the idea of the rule is for player safety, that you're not taking out defenseless infielders wherever they may be, second or third, or even a catcher at the plate.
It only takes one, right?
Yep. It takes one. And the rule, we saw a couple of them last year. The one that really set the firestorm going was the Chase Utley play, and they actually they're calling this the Chase Utley rule. That's kind of the slang version of it. Major League Baseball is not calling it that, but just like the home plate rule was known as the Buster Posey rule, this is known as the Chase Utley rule. When he broke the leg of Miguel Tejada, or Ruben Tejada I should say, last year, as Altuve strikes out for 8. And this is the play, and there's Ruben Tejada. He broke his leg on this play.
Yeah, that's just not that's not just hard baseball. That's uncalled for. And there's the first one that we saw.
So it was Jose Bautista Wednesday with the Blue Jays in St. Petersburg, and then in our game Friday to end the game, even though VR was not going to try to call the double play, turn the double play, and then we just had another one at third base.
And none of them were really an effort to go out of your way to really hurt anybody. And, you know, Maldonado grabs the ankle, you know, and doesn't maintain control of second base. So it's going to be called very much to the letter of the rules. Umpires are forced to do it. I'm not sure if they want to do it themselves, but that's where we are in baseball these days. And it's going to take a while for players to get used to it. But I think that the rule was put in place for plays like the one you saw with Utley. It's not these plays that we've seen.
Right. And in the past, just to clarify, the umpires had the discretion whether a player would go out of his way to take out a defender. And then there's been interference calls available in Major League Baseball forever on plays like that. Now, has it been enforced? Probably not. I mean, you keep seeing these images. The image I keep thinking of is Hal McRae.
Yeah, right.
You know, barrel rolling, and that was part of the game, and I can completely understand that part of it. But I think maybe you have to, not that Major League Baseball is asking, but you have to maybe put the umpires back in the middle and let them make decisions on whether
all their discretion is being taken away from them.
Exactly.
All of it.
There's another strikeout. As the slide rule discussion continues, Jimmy Nelson is just mowing down the Astros. 9 punch outs. And he's got 2 here in the 6th inning.
Yeah, that 2-seam fastball has been a good pitch for him ever since he's been called up. Now he's got a couple of pitches that he can go to along with it and able to catch the inside corner with that 2-seam fastball.
3-2 Brewers lead. Playing the 6th. Carlos Correa up there with 2 outs. On the ground, right to VR. And a great inning for Nelson. He needed that. Gave up a home run last inning, a 1-run game against an ace in Keuchel, and a 3-up, 3-down 6th. Sunday afternoon, Brewers lead the Astros 3-2 as we head to the bottom of the 6th. Our CarSoup.com trivia question today: the 2 Brewer outfielders to win a Gold Glove award. There's only been 2 in franchise history. Going back to 1970, it was Sixto Lezcano in '79, and then not until Gomez won the Gold Glove 3 seasons ago we'd seen an outfielder win that award. So those are the 2 in franchise history. Gomez now a member of the Houston Astros, not in the starting lineup today. Might see Carlos as a pinch hitter later in this game. Keuchel remains, but will start this 6th inning with bullpen activity behind him. 3-2 Milwaukee. Feels like the Brewers should have a bigger lead than they do right now, but you got to give Keuchel credit. Twice the Brewers have stranded the bases loaded. Had 2 on and 1 out last inning when Nelson dropped the bunt down that ended up as a double play.
Yeah, the pitcher batting 8th has hurt the Brewers lineup today. Really has. That's the way it goes once in a while. Sometimes it's not going to matter much, but today there's been a couple of opportunities with men on base where Jimmy Nelson has come up and has not been able to get the job done.
I guess the good news for Counsell is that it's even a topic because Nelson is pitching so well and he is still in the game. 6 strong innings, has 9 strikeouts. It's the 2nd highest strikeout mark in a single game that he's had. He had an 11 strikeout game last year. There's a called strike 3. Broxton is gone. Dallas Keuchel has 7 punch outs now. 2nd time he struck out Broxton.
Yep, 7 strikeouts, 6 walks. He's only given up 5 hits. There it is, the dreaded curveball from Dallas Keuchel, and that one caught plenty of the plate. Who said he doesn't throw it anymore?
Well, Fangraphs did.
And they never lie.
Top of the order, Santana. Domingo doubled in a run in the fourth, walked and scored in the first. And he bangs one through, a base hit. Domingo Santana off to a great start. And a one-out single, his second hit of the day, third time on base against the Cy Young Award winner.
Yeah, got a cut fastball and able to hit it hard. Got the barrel of the bat on it and hit it hard into left field. You can see that rotation, and Santana with very good bat speed to get to that pitch inside, especially when it's only 83 miles an hour, and able to get a one-out single. Standing tall, looking very confident up there at the plate.
Keuchel has only had one 3-up 3-down inning in this game. That was the second. Little tapper foul from VR. Brewers have had some traffic out there today. Matter of fact, in every inning, with the exception of the third, they've had multiple base runners. You got Braun coming up next. Keuchel's been tough on VR. 0 for 3, 2 strikeouts. At one time, Jonathan VR was one of the top prospects in baseball as a shortstop coming up in the Phillies organization. And you just wonder, maybe he's still a young guy, he's only 24, but you wonder if he senses that his career is plateauing a little bit. He has not pushed his way across as that superstar talent that was once applied to him as a minor league player. He has a lot of ability. There's no doubt about that.
Man, depending on what the Brewers decide to do with Arcia, he might be around here for a while this year, getting playing time every day, and he'll give himself an opportunity to show baseball what he can do.
Now, they always say in the pro game, you're playing for the team on your jersey, and then all those other teams with scouts in attendance. Everybody's watching everybody. Two and two to VR with Santana at first, and a shot foul, just missed it.
Just been out in front of the breaking stuff and a little bit behind the fastball from Dallas Keuchel. That's what he does to you. He's kind of caught in between. Not sure what you're going to get. He can throw anything at any time, regardless of the count.
Count goes full. I would imagine that pitch count is getting into an uncomfortable territory for A.J. Hinch this early in the season.
Yeah, already, you know, first game he was over 100. Next pitch is 110.
3-2, 1 out, and a swing and a miss. He got him. Fastball. VR strikes out. 8 strikeouts for Keuchel. Santana still at first, and A.J. Hinch has seen enough. And this won't make Dallas Keuchel too pleased here. He's hoping to hang in there long enough for his team to come back and win. And so with Braun coming up, Hinch will make the call. That 38 pitch first inning ultimately got him out early. but he hung in there well. We'll take a timeout. Brewers baseball on Fox Sports Wisconsin is brought to you by Miller Lite, the original light Pilsner. Cheers, it's Miller time. And by the Wisconsin Lottery, reminding you to please play responsibly. Got a pitching change here with Pat Neshek coming in for the Astros. Keuchel is out. Neshek, his third appearance, second in this series. 2 outs, 3-2. Brewers lead it. 6th inning. Santana at first, and a fastball strike from Neshek.
A.J. Hinch not real comfortable having Keuchel, facing Ryan Braun for the 4th time. Brings in his right hander, and a very dependable one at that. I mean, Neshek, a veteran, last year with Houston, 66 appearances and a 3.62 ERA. He pitched an inning last night, gave up a home run to Kirk Neuenhuis.
Brewers looking for a big hit, trying to steal a run out of the 6th inning and add to their lead.
Hey, Dallas Keuchel didn't look too pleased when he walked into that dugout. But 110 pitches, that's pushing it this early in the year.
Just getting started with the season, his 2nd start of the year, and a ton of innings last year. But that's what aces do. They pride themselves on going deep into ball games. And another thing aces do, they give their team a chance to win when they don't have their best stuff. And Keuchel certainly didn't have his best stuff today, and yet the Astros are only down a run. Brewers had all kind of activity on the bases today against Keuchel. 3 runs on 6 hits. Keuchel walked 6. And now Neshek in with 2 away. Ooh, looked like
he was going to bring it up.
Molino was taking a step for a strike.
Yeah, pretty close. That frisbee slider right here. Check it out. Watch the home plate umpire here. Well, will I or will I not?
Watch he steps.
Nope, no, I'm not calling it. Nope.
That's an umpire's version of a changeup. The misdirection. 3 balls, 1 strike. Braun into center field. Hit well. Rasmus going back, and he's got it just in front of the wall. A narrow miss. Oh, Braun, if he gets it a little bit toward the barrel, it is long gone. Instead, it is a 399-foot out. He gave the jersey tug. He thought he got it. Instead, it's a scoreless inning for the Brewers at the plate. And Jimmy Nelson pitching well here today. Nelson with 9 strikeouts. Rock coming off his best inning of the day.
It just seems like he's getting stronger. He's got 4 strikeouts in his last 2 innings, and I'm looking at my scorebook. He has not allowed a fly ball out yet today. It's been all ground balls and strikeouts, and that's a pretty impressive performance for Jimmy Nelson here today, entering inning number 7. And I know Craig Counsell would love to be able to get through 7 innings with Jimmy here today.
Well, Ryan Braun almost hit one out. That would have been a big home run for Braun. Instead, the Brewers still lead by a run. Colby Rasmus leads off for Houston. 4, 5, and 6 in the Astros batting order coming up. Rasmus, White, and Tucker, all with big power. Keuchel goes 5 2/3, giving up 3 earned runs, 6 walks, and 8 strikeouts.
And so Keuchel will remain winless against Milwaukee and here at Miller Park.
He is on the hook for the loss. We got a lot of baseball to play. Rasmus hit 2 homers yesterday. Bullpen is active for the Brewers as well.
And be careful, he had a 3-0 home run yesterday.
That's right, on a changeup. 3-0 changeup from Peralta, and Rasmus hit it into the seats. Takes a strike. Rasmus didn't like that call. Looked very similar to the pitch prior, which was called a ball. And he missed with a curveball. So Rasmus is aboard, a leadoff walk. And Craig Counsell pops out of the first base dugout. I would imagine Nelson gets through the inning 1, 2, 3.
Well, they gave him 1 base runner. Basically, you don't want to have him out there, get a couple of men on, somebody knock one out of the ballpark and make a loser out of him as well as he's pitched. Don't allow him to be stuck with a loss after the way he's pitched his first 2 games this year.
Nice hand on his way out again. 2 excellent starts at Miller Park for Jimmy Nelson. Today he's got a chance to win. Here comes Thornburg.
Nelson in 2 starts, 4 runs allowed in 13 in the 3rd innings, and has a chance to win this one today. And today's time of the game winner, J.J. Maloney's from Kaukauna. If they call the Brewers by 8 o'clock tomorrow morning, they get 40 tickets to a Friday night game in the Miller Lite Beer Pen. This offer courtesy of the Tavern League of Wisconsin and Miller Lite.
The Galloping Ghost of Kaukauna. Cool nickname. Tyler Thornburg is in, Rock, for Jimmy Nelson. Close him out with 6+. Still a runner at first, his responsibility.
Yeah, Tyler's had a good start to his season as well. 3rd appearance for Thornburg.
In need of a ground ball double play here. Tyler White at the plate, one of the hottest hitters in the big leagues to start the season.
Tyler picked up a win on Wednesday against the Giants.
Tyler White, a walk in the 2nd. Nelson struck him out in the 4th. Jimmy had 9 strikeouts today.
Thornburg shown a couple of good breaking pitches, the curveball and the changeup. Changeup's probably his best off-speed pitch, and seems like his velocity's back a little bit. He's been touching 95 miles an hour with his fastball in the early going this year.
And that one's in there. A little wrinkle for White in a 2-0 count. Lead man at first, Colby Rasmus. He walked. Counsell makes the pitching change. This banged up Brewers bullpen. A couple of key members of that bullpen on the disabled list to start the year. Corey Knebel and Will Smith. Big swing by White.
Talking about pulling your head, right? Well, his head was in Fridays out there in left field. 95 with a fastball. Check the head.
Wow. It's got a little Jeff Bagwell finish in it, the way Bagwell used to have wide stance. 2-2. And now that gets away from Maldonado. Boy, that one hurts. Runner at 2nd now on the pitch from Thornburg. So it takes the Brewers out of a double play chance, and now the tying run is in scoring position. It'll be a wild pitch. Popped him up. It's going to stay playable for Carter. And there is out number 1. And a big out for Tyler Thornburg.
Yep, on ball 4. I mean, White swinging the pitch out of the zone, and Thornburg able to get the out.
Let's check in with Sophia. She's got more on Tyler Thornburg.
Yeah, earlier you were mentioning the injuries that have plagued the Brewers bullpen, and Tyler Thornburg doing his best this season to stay off the disabled list. And we talked about 2014, really a breakout year for him. He said at the early part of that season he was feeling so good on a daily basis that he said, I just didn't think about doing things like the pre-treatment and the work in the training room. So he said coming off of that UCL injury that put him on the disabled list for the rest of 2014, all of the rehab he had to do to get back last year, he said, I've really made a conscious effort of the maintenance, doing the shoulder work, the lifting, the foam rolling, to make sure that that injury doesn't flare up again.
And that ligament injury, it was borderline whether it was going to go to surgery or not. And I think at one point they were very close to deciding that surgery was going to be the way to go. But ultimately they decided to rehab, as Sophia mentioned. And who knows, that might be an injury that sets Thornburg's career on the right path, because there is a lot of maintenance involved when you're pitching at this level this often.
And as you get a little bit older, I know Tyler's only 27. I mean, that's not old by any stretch, but as you continue to progress through your career, you're going to have to do those things, those maintenance types things before you pitch and after you pitch, to make sure you're going to be able to make it through the season. I talked to Tyler in spring training. He told me he has never felt this good in his entire career, as good as he has so far this year.
And he's got the hair back on his fastball, as you see there. That one coming in at 94. I think one of the great models for that was Trevor Hoffman at the end of his career here in Milwaukee. And boy, even at that age, and Trevor, he did way more maintenance work than he did actual pitching in games. Swing and a miss. He comes back with a change.
Yep, 86 miles an hour. Just saw the speed differential for Thornburg, 96 to 77. There's that change up. He said it's one of his better pitches, and you can see Tucker way out in front of that one.
Thornburg's always had a terrific changeup. Confidence to throw it as well. Rasmus, the tying run at second base. 2-2 pitch and a fastball strike. Caught him guessing. 95-mile-an-hour heat. Tucker's gone. And the second out of the inning.
It's been a while since we've seen 95, 96 out of Tyler Thornburg. So you throw this pitch, you get back into the count, and then you rifle a fastball by him. Yeah, 95 miles an hour, just at the bottom of the strike zone. Good pitch, down and in, and Tucker caught looking.
Spins exactly the same, right?
Yeah, tough to pick up.
One comes in at 86, the other at 95.
That changeup, like you have a string on it, just doesn't get the home plate. Looks like a fastball, but it's not.
So 2 outs. Rasmus still at second base. Marwin Gonzalez now. He takes a strike. That was a bender from Thornburg, a curveball. Thornburg, terrific athlete. He was a two-way player in college, and there was a lot of discussion among scouts whether to draft him as a pitcher or an outfielder. He was a center fielder in college. And I think pitching was the right call. Made his way to the big leagues. He's not a big guy by any stretch, and he's a little bit unorthodox in the way he delivers the ball. Not quite as flexible as Tim Lincecum, but he did draw some comparisons the way he leans back. Boy, there's that changeup again.
Yeah, tough one. That's a tough pitch, particularly when you put it there, down and away. He's kind of one of those drop and drive guys. He drops with that back leg. He brings the ball down, that pitching arm down, and straightens out, and then comes through like Lincecum.
Lincecum is yet to sign, by the way. Still looking for a team. 2 strikes, 2 outs. Big spot. Tying run at second. Thornburg deals and a strikeout. Tyler Thornburg, big league pitching right there out of the bullpen. Wow, impressive. Strands a runner at second, and the Brewers still lead 3-2. Now we turn it over to Rob Edwards. Miller Park's version of God Bless America, and the pitch that gets Thornburg through the inning.
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above. From the mountains to the prairies to the oceans white with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home.
The Brewers have a 1-run lead over the Astros, and it's the Brewers and Twins here at Miller Park as the rival clubs face off in an interleague showdown on Wednesday, April 20th, Thursday the 21st, as part of the Crew's 5-county 5-day celebration. Tickets are 50% off. Tickets are on sale now at Brewers.com.
Bottom of the 7th here at Miller Park. New pitcher Rockies Josh Fields.
The second time we've seen Fields in the series. He's off to a rough start. A hard thrower out there on the mound.
30-year-old Georgia native. Came up with the Astros, now in his 4th season in Houston. Chris Carter leads off. It'll be Carter and then Aaron Hill. And then Martin Maldonado. Been a tight game. The Brewers facing the reigning American League Cy Young Award winner in Dallas Keuchel. He did not have his A game today, but he hung in there. And the Brewers still lead it, but it is close. It was great work by Tyler Thornburg.
Boy, huh? Change-ups and fastballs. Call rocking the boat a little bit.
Back-to-back strikeouts to end the inning, stranding a runner at second base. He got 3 outs with a runner at second base. The tying run left stranded. Big fastball there right by Carter for out number 1.
Yeah, no question about his ability to throw the fastball. No doubt Fields got a big one. 54 appearances last year for Fields and a .355 ERA. Part of a pretty good bullpen for the Astros a year ago. Gave up a home run to Ryan Braun first game of the series.
Aaron Hill hits it sharply, but right at Correa. And there is out number 2. Shift was on for Hill. Looking ahead to the Astros 8th inning. It'll be the bottom of their order. Have Castro and then a pinch hitter, and then back to Altuve in the top of the order. Will 3 runs be enough to win this game? Big question. Looks like Thornburg maybe headed back out.
Blazek's getting loose in the pen.
Yeah, Blazek has kind of at least what we've seen early. It's real early, but emerging as the setup man now with Jeffress as the closer. By the way, Will Smith, the injured left-hander for the Brewers, he is going to try to rehab that injured knee. He tore the LCL, the lateral collateral ligament, which is a hard ligament to tear. But he's actually jogging now. So they are very encouraged by the rehab for Will Smith.
It might not be as long as people think. At least you hope. They need him in that bullpen. One of the most reliable left-handers in anybody's bullpen, Will Smith.
If it went to a surgery, it was going to be a season-ending surgery for Smith. So we're going to try to give it a go.
Yeah, give it a go, and it doesn't work, then have your surgery, right? But yeah, why not try?
Corey Knebel is out with an oblique injury. You know, suddenly if you get Knebel back, if this thing does heal like they are hoping, Brewers can actually put together a pretty impressive bullpen. Left, right, hard throwers, change-up guys. Got some varying looks out there.
Except for a couple innings here and there. I mean, the bullpen's been pretty good to start the year, first couple series. But it could be better with those guys.
2-2 count on Maldonado with 2 away. And down he goes. The big fastball of Josh Fields. 3 up, 3 down for the Astros reliever. We are headed to the 8th inning. Got a good one today. 3-2 Brew Crew. Inning now, and it will be Michael Blazek out of the pen. So Thornburg does his job, gets 3 outs in the 7th, and now Blazek for his 4th outing of the season already.
Yeah, he's been working a lot. He appeared in last night's ball game, got Jose Altuve on a double play ball, so he was able to retire the only batter that he faced. Off to a very good start. Has not allowed a run in 2 1/3 innings of work. Now you figure Blazek and then Jeremy Jeffress, and hopefully the Brewers are going to be able to close this one out.
Blazek will face 8, 9, and 1 coming up, and right away A.J. Hinch is going to go to the bench. Carlos Gomez will pinch hit for Jason Castro. Going to have another pinch hitter next. Looks like Luis Valbuena. So empty the bench here in the 8th. You got the top of the order after that with Altuve, Springer, Correa. Those are guys you just simply don't pinch hit for. So use them while you can. Gomez leads off. First pitch swinging, and a swing and a foul tip.
First time the helmet's been off in the series. I knew he couldn't do it for 3 games. Oh, there it is. He did it just for us.
But you know Maldonado knows he's going to swing at the first pitch. So a first pitch breaking ball was a wise choice.
Yep, good slider.
Maldonado's done a good job behind the plate today. A hanging slider, got away with it. Gomez fouls it back. Carlos in a free agent year this year.
I wonder what Maldonado said to him. Did you see Gomez smiling there before his setup? He had to be saying something to him. Still talking to him. Trying to get in his head a little bit.
Probably some trash talking going on, I'm guessing. And down he goes. Gomez strikes out. Blazek with a nasty slider.
I mean, perfect. That's exactly where you want it. I mean, every one of his pitches was away. Not giving Gomez anything to pull, and that 2-strike slider about as good as it gets as far as location goes. And Carlos trying to pull it, and you can see where it ends up off the outside corner and swings right through it.
So again, a pinch hitter for the Astros. Luis Valbuena, who's been starting at third base the first 2 games, and a spinner in there for a strike.
Sliders to Gomez. Starts out with a curveball to Valbuena.
Brewers lead by 1. Astros have hit 2 home runs today, representing their 2 runs. They only have 3 hits. They've hit 6 homers in the series. This is a team that can strike quickly. But the Brewers lead by 1. And it's been that way since the 5th inning when the Astros scored to get it to within a run. The Brewers took a 3-1 lead on an RBI in the 4th inning by Santana, the former Astro, and then the Astros got it right back. Home run by Tucker. 3-1. Valbuena takes ball 4. And a base runner for the top of the order. A reminder that this week only, T-Mobile customers can get a free season-long subscription to MLB.TV Premium. Go to T-Mobile.com/MLB to sign up now. Catch every moment on America's fastest-growing LTE network. Valbuena is going to be lifted for a pinch runner. Marisnik will run again. We've seen him in that role a couple of times in this series. A center fielder who can really fly. And he represents the tying run.
Well, the equalizer behind home plate. You wonder if the Astros are going to make another attempt to try and steal. They've been cut down twice or picked off twice. It's a nice weapon to have behind home plate.
The dangerous Altuve homered on the first pitch of the game from Nelson. Altuve in the third inning walked, stole second, and then was picked off. In the game on Friday night, the game that ended with the slide rule play, it was Altuve who hit the ground ball that started that double play that would end the game. A slider for a strike from Blazek.
Yep, right on that corner. Perfect pitch. Man, it's good to keep an eye on the base runner, but don't forget about that hitter. That's a guy that can really hurt you.
A former batting champion, Jose Altuve. And he's been the hits leader in the American League the last 2 seasons. Marisnick at first, 1 out. And a strike throw to first. Dangerous.
Well, if you're going to throw one high, Chris Carter's a guy to throw it to.
A lot of times you don't get called strikes when you do that. But Blazek got one that time.
Umpires don't like it when catchers move around too much.
Altuve is tough to double up. He runs well. 0-2 the count. See what he has in mind here. 1-2. One man out. And a slider. Blazek's got it. Good play. Throw to second. Oh, it's into center field. A throwing error. And the runners will advance to second and third.
Well, you can see that coming. I mean, you're not going to turn 2 on Jose Altuve on a ball like that. So you set yourself. You make a good throw to second base. You get that lead out. Blazek trying to turn a double play, threw it away, and now the Brewers are in tough shape right now. Good pitch, but a little bit too quick and not even close. VR able to get a glove on it, slowed it down a little bit, but now second and third with one of the best young hitters in baseball coming up. Boy, bad mistake.
And Derek Johnson, the pitching coach, out to the mound. Just to help him gather a little bit. Blazek is a terrific athlete. He was a shortstop as an amateur. So it's not out of the realm to make a play like that, but he tugged it and trickles into left center field. Second and third. It'll be an E1. Altuve reaches on the fielder's choice. And now a base hit. The Brewers could find themselves trailing.
Can't make mistakes against these kind of teams, these playoff teams. And you open the door wide open. Second and third hitters coming up.
And a spot where Blazek desperately needs a strikeout. George Springer has struck out twice today. Has also singled. And a wave and a miss. That's the hardest Blazek has thrown the slider thus far. That came in at 87 miles an hour.
Yeah, it's good to throw the slider with something on it, but you try and overthrow it. That's when you hang him, but he ended up throwing that one down and away. Slider's been a good pitch for him in this inning. See if he sticks with it.
Shows bunt that time. Tying run at third. Go ahead run at second. 8th inning, Miller Park. Tight one today. Jimmy Nelson and Dallas Keuchel, the two starters. Keuchel was chased in the 6th inning. Springer breaks his bat. Long run in. Broxton makes the catch. Tagging at third. Here it comes. Now he stops. And Maldonado smothers it at home plate.
Oh, good thing he stopped. Not a very good throw out there from Broxton. Well, that was about halfway between third and home. Wow. And it wasn't that deep. Oh, what a break there. Maldonado with a terrific job just smothering that throw in from Broxton. We saw a pretty good throwing arm from Broxton, but check out where this thing ends up.
Well, that's a wicked bounce too. That is some kind of terrific play by Martin Maldonado.
Yeah, not even close to home plate. And yeah, Brewers with a break right there.
All kind of bad could go wrong there with the way the baseline's cut out, the lips of the grass and whatnot. I guess if you're Astros, the thought is you don't want to run yourself into a potential double play with Correa coming up.
Right. You know, plus you don't go when a ball hit that shallow. But the fact is, I mean, you're going to hold up regardless. But still in all, I mean, that wasn't a very good throw by Kean Broxton.
So 2 outs. Got a base open at first. Let's see how the Brewers attack Carlos Correa, the Astros' best hitter. Big cut and a miss. Another slider from Blazek. He's ramping that slider up now. Throwing it hard. 86, 87 miles an hour.
Yeah, got to be careful here. I mean, you don't want this guy beat you in a game. I mean, he's one of the guys that you say don't let him get hits. If you can pitch around him, do so. Make him hit a perfect pitch. If you walk him, so be it.
Oh, and 2 the count.
Man, just one slider after another, and they've all been located very well.
And that's the hardest one yet at 88 miles an hour.
Now, if you're Maldonado, you call another one. It's going to be in the dirt. Make sure you block it.
Asking Blazek to shake off a couple of times. Tying run at third. Go ahead run at second for Houston. 0-2 the count on Correa. Blazek deals and a ground ball to VR. Got the hop, got the throw, and Blazek is out of it. Strands 2. Big pitching after the error from Michael Blazek. Brewers still lead 3-2 as we go to the bottom of the 8th.
at Miller Park. Brewers clinging to a 3-2 lead. We're getting set for Brewers Live postgame coming up after the ball game. Well, I tell you, Michael Blazek, the escape artist, Davey. Take us through that last at bat with a very dangerous Carlos Correa at the plate.
Boy, yes, Michael Blazek did an outstanding job. Dangerous hitter up, runners on second and third, throwing that slider. He's got an outstanding slider, keeping it away. Two straight sliders. Watch this pitch, little slider, and he gets Correa to chop the ball, get out of the inning. Great pitching by Mike Blazek.
This is how this game has gone. Both teams have had a lot of opportunities to score. We're at 3-2 now. Brewers looking to try to pad this lead as it gets late. Again, we'll hear from the Brewer crew. Craig Counsell all coming up. Brewers Live postgame, Brian.
All right, Craig and Davey, thanks. The Brewers have stranded 9 today. And the Astros 4. 2 big ones right there from Blazek. New pitcher for Houston is Will Harris. A.J. Hinch having to make a number of changes in that inning. Do you see the numbers on Harris? His 3rd appearance, 2nd in this series.
He had a terrific year last year. 68 appearances for the Astros, a couple of saves, and a 190 earned run average. Good curveball.
Drops one in for a strike on Rivera.
Really have seen some really good breaking pitches, off-speed pitches today by both teams. How about Blazek, though? That slider, nasty today.
He threw nothing but sliders down the home stretch to Springer and Correa to get out of that inning. Carlos Gomez stays in to play center. That moves Rasmus to right. Springer's out, and Kratz is now behind the plate. The former Philly, Eric Kratz. A ball and 2 strikes on Rivera. Bounced it in. 2-2 on Yadiel, his first start of the season today. After impressing in spring training, he was probably on the outside looking in as far as the major league roster when camp began. Ends up making the team, and he has swung the bat well in his 2 games played. Got 3 hits already. Out to Altuve for out number 1. Our Powerball home run leaderboard. It is Scooter Gennett that tops that list with 3. Chris Carter hit 2 in 2 games. VR and Braun with homers at this point. Kurt Neuenhuis is homered as well. The pinch hitter is Colin Walsh for Milwaukee. He'll hit in the pitcher spot. The switch hitter.
Man, Colin did everything he had to do to make the ball club. Rule 5 guy. If the Brewers didn't keep him, they would have had to offer him back to the A's. They didn't feel like they wanted to do that. And a switch hitter that can play pretty much everywhere. He can play the outfield as well. Still looking for that first hit this year.
Yeah, and it'll be his first major league hit. Switch hitter. All of his at-bats have been off the bench thus far. Will Harris grunting away on the mound. Three and one now. The famous Astro grunter of all time has to be Nolan Ryan. You could hear him all throughout the Astrodome back in the day.
Even more intimidating when you're in the batter's box.
I bet. Lost him. So Walsh draws a walk. Good at bat off the bench and a base runner for the Brewers here.
Hey, pop sensation Andy Grammer's coming to Miller Park on Saturday, May 14th, perform a free postgame concert courtesy of Pick and Save. You can reserve your spot for both The Brewers match up with the Padres in the post-game performance by Andy Grammer at brewers.com/concerts.
Well, Kurt Neuenhuis was out on deck, but after the walk, Craig Counsell changes his mind. He's going to send Scooter Gennett to the plate. The hottest of all the Brewer hitters, with 3 home runs already, has 7 hits in his first 5 games of the season.
And he's been hitting everything. I mean, off-speed pitches, fastballs, and has been able to cover the inside part of the plate pretty well.
Opening day, Gennett against Madison Bumgarner, his first at-bat of the season, launches one out of here. And then a home run against Houston, Scott Feldman, that traveled 427 feet. Then yesterday, Pfister threw him a breaking ball. And his 3rd home run of the year. Now he's up in the 8th inning with the Brewers leading by a run. On the ground, Altuve's over. Quick shovel to the bag, and that's going to be a double play to end the inning. 1 pitch turns into 2 outs. Side retired. We go to the 9th. Brewers trying to lock it down. Jeremy Jeffress out for a save attempt. Jimmy Nelson walked off to a standing ovation, trying to win for the first time today. Brewers baseball this afternoon on Fox Sports Wisconsin, presented by Potawatomi Hotel and Casino. To the 9th we go. Brewers 3, Astros 2, and Jeremy Jeffress on to try to nail down his 3rd save of the year in his 4th game.
Yeah, he's been throwing the baseball pretty well. Good velocity. He's got that good curveball working. And you know, the good news for the Brewers with that inning, that interesting inning in the 8th, you don't have to deal with Carlos Correa, but you do have to deal with a couple of hot hitters in Rasmus and White coming up here in the 9th.
Kurt Neuenhuis will enter the game in center field. Broxton is out. Colby Rasmus, you got to be careful on that first pitch to this guy. He's always ready to swing. Brewers by a run, trying to win this series against a playoff team from a year ago. Jeffress deals him a strike. Thornburg, impressive. Took over for Nelson in the 7th after a leadoff walk. Thornburg with a couple of strikeouts. And then Michael Blazek committed an error, got himself into the deep waters, but comes out of it, retiring Springer and Correa to keep the lead. Big swing and a miss.
Nasty. Took a little off that pitch. 90 miles an hour for Jeremy with some big movement. There's that split change he likes to throw.
And to throw that pitch with that grip at 90 miles an hour.
After we saw Rasmus hit a home run yesterday on a changeup.
0-2 pitch. Hit hard but foul.
Yeah, threw it again.
Got off the end of the bat. Broke that bat. That was the bat with all the home runs in it. Good to get that one out of the way. That split change has been a pitch a lot of Brewers have adopted over the last couple of years. And the first guy I remember in this group of pitchers to use it was Mike Fiers, who's now with the Astros. Fiers will start for Houston on Tuesday against the Royals. Brewers going to miss him in this series.
Too bad he didn't pitch in this series. That would have been fun.
Threw a no-hitter last year as an Astro. Shortly after the trade. See what Jeffers has in mind now. 0-2 the count on Rasmus. Brewers have 3 infielders on the right side. Expecting Rasmus, if he hits one on the ground, to pull one. Coming inside, didn't miss by much.
No, it didn't. Yeah, Rasmus leaning to that outside corner, and he made it look a little bit further inside than it actually was. Just misses that inside edge. So Jeffers has got all the pitches working for him. Boy, that was close.
Yeah, he buckled him. He wouldn't have gotten a swing out of him had it been in the strike zone. It would have been a strikeout. And a wave and a miss. He gets it anyway. Backs it up with a breaking ball. Colby Rasmus down on strikes.
Yeah, that one looked like it had more of a 12-6 rotation than the one before, going straight down. And getting the hot hitting Colby Rasmus on the curveball. So he gave Rasmus everything he had and got him on the hook.
Nasty breaking ball. One away. Here's Tyler White. Brewers are hoping this guy's cooled off finally. He's 0 for 2 today. Key at bat with White at the plate in the 7th. Thornburg had unleashed a wild pitch to put the tying run at second base, Rasmus, and then he got White to pop up in foul territory over to first. And then Thornburg would strike out the next 2 hitters. Strike. Maldonado is set up inside, but he gets the call on the corner.
Yeah, that's why White a little bit upset with that call. He saw Maldonado reach for it, but Jeffers missed by about the entire width of the plate, setting up inside, catches it on the outside corner. A lot of times you don't get that call.
But a good umpire will tell you a strike is a strike, regardless of how they catch it. Tambolino is an excellent umpire. He has had a number of calls in this series. Ground ball, foul. 1-2 the count. It's got to be fun catching Jeffers on a day like today. You know he's got everything. You have 4 pitches you can go to. Just choosing the right one. Maldonado's done a great job behind the plate today.
I was just getting ready to say, I mean, he has really called a good game today.
1 ball, 2 strikes. And back up the middle. Got a man right there. Knocks it down. Recovers. Rivera makes the play. White is out. 2 gone in the 9th.
Yeah, you can do that when you've got the arm of Yadiel Rivera. Just kind of smother it and use that big arm to get the out.
1 more entry to write in there to get this game over. What's on tap? Courtesy of Miller Lite. Brewers, Cardinals tomorrow will be the Cardinals home opener. Youngman, Chase Anderson, and Willie Peralta set to pitch for the Brewers. Don't forget, Tuesday is an off day, so it goes Monday, Wednesday, Thursday in that series with 2 day games. Their time tomorrow, 2:30. Brewers are trying to get there with a series win over the Astros. Preston Tucker, who has homered today with 2 outs, and he rips one. Oh, what a catch! Thank you very much. Jeffress snares the hot smash from Tucker, and the ball game is over, and the Brewers win 3-2 the final, a series victory for Milwaukee.
Hey, that's a nice homestand to start the year. 3-3 against 2 very good ball clubs. And Jeremy Jeffress, look what I found. He threw the glove out there and ball ends up in it. His 3rd save of the year. Great series for the Brewers.
Drop 2 of 3 to the Giants, come back and answer with a series victory over the Houston Astros and beating the reigning Cy Young Award winner Dallas Keuchel today. Jimmy Nelson the winner, Jeffress with his 3rd save. And it's time for Brewers Live. We kick it out to Craig Cashon. Craig?
Okay, B.A., thanks very much. I'll tell you what, we know one thing about this club. They will battle. That's how the first week has gone. It ends in a 3-2 victory. We'll hear from the Brew Crew, Craig Counsell, and more. All coming up on Brewers Live postgame. Stay with us.